When it comes to sports in Lorain, your station to watch is TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Welcome on WLCS TV 20. We bring you 7th grade volleyball today from Southview Middle School. It's General Johnnie Wilson against Southview. The General Johnnie Wilson 7th graders at 10-1, coached by Coach Peggy Ham, and the Southview 7th grade volleyball team 8-4 this year, and they are coached by Lindsay Wilson. Alongside Bob Schellenbaker, I'm Rob Polinsky. Both teams wearing identical blue uniforms that say Lorain on the back, so my biggest challenge today, other than being here with Bob, will be to remember which team is which. I'll do my best. For General Johnnie Wilson, Nia Hall is going to serve to begin today's match. You play 2 games out of 3. Each game goes to 25, and you must win by at least 2. So Nia Hall, 7th grader, to serve for General Johnnie Wilson to get the 7th grade match underway. Hall with a nice line drive serve that is returned. And into the net, first point will go to Southview. So Southview up 1-0. And serving for Southview is going to be Ariana Bucci. Bucci with Limani Anderson, Rosabella Ozario, a couple of her teammates out there. We'll get you the girls as soon as we can, and that serve out of bounds. Point goes to General Johnnie Wilson. We are tied at 1 here early on in game 1. There's the set from Jalen Rodriguez. They put it over the net. Now it's back to the Southview side. And the battle at the net, and this time that is won by Jalen Rodriguez. And it's 2-1 General Johnnie Wilson. Serving for the 7th graders is Natalie Patterson for Coach Peggy Ham. Patterson sends it over. It is played back to the General Johnnie Wilson side. And on the third hit, unable to put it over is Patterson, and we are tied at 2. Serving into the net was Zaylin Wilhelm. 3-2 General Johnnie Wilson leads. Sending it over. One hit, battle at the net. And a miss hit there for the General Johnnie Wilson team. And we are tied at 3, so neither team able to get an advantage here. We've been tied at 1, 2, and 3. And going back to serve now is Janiyah Johnson. Johnson sends it over, and that'll be a point for Southview. They lead 4-3. Johnson again. Sends it over, played ahead. And it will be hit out of bounds. So we are tied at 4. Rotating, going back to serve is Jalen Rodriguez for Coach Peggy Ham's 7th graders. Again, they are 10-1 on the year. Ham sends it over, but they're going to call a fault on that serve. That gives Southview a 5-4 lead. For Southview, Brooklyn Kalis hits it over, but it's out of bounds. And the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. We're tied at 5. Substitution, Dallas Lopez will come in for Southview. And serving is Samaria Diaz. Diaz sends it over, and it's a point for General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 6-5. Sasha Fleming comes into the Southview lineup. And on the third hit, sending it over, is Bucci. And the point will go to Southview. Another point for General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 8-5, and we're going to get a timeout. Southview takes their first timeout of the match. In this 7th grade match, again, it's 8-5. General Johnnie Wilson in the lead. We were tied at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now 4 consecutive points from General Johnnie Wilson has gotten them out to an 8-5 lead. And we want to remind you that Lorain City Schools Television, WLCS TV 20, Spectrum Cable. Check out Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your entertainment and informational needs. Like Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook and win great prizes. There will be a point for General Johnnie Wilson. They're up 9-5, 5 consecutive points from the serves of Samaria Diaz. Diaz with a line drive serve just in front of Janiyah Johnson. It's 10-5. Good serve. And the point, though, we had a violation on General Johnnie Wilson. That will give the point to Southview, and that ends the run, and now it's 10-6. Coach Peggy Ham getting an explanation from the referees. Again, at this level, teaching the rules. So Coach Ham talking with her young ladies out there. And serving as Rosabella Azario. Sends it over. Nice serve. Played from the back row, but Azario and her team gets the point. It's 10-7. General Johnnie Wilson in front of Southview. Again, both teams wearing blue with Lorain on the jerseys. Azario with another good serve. Is played over the net that time by Nia Hall and hit out of bounds, so the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 11-7. And serving is Calissy Sagers. Sagers with a good serve. Played from the back row by Jalen Rodriguez, but hit out of bounds. And the point goes to Southview. It's 11-8, General Johnnie Wilson. Serving is Limani Anderson. Limani gets it over. Played from the back row. And hit into the net. That time by Natalie Patterson. That will give the point to Southview. It's 11-9. The General Johnnie Wilson lead in game 1 of the 7th grade volleyball game is down to 2 points. Again, Limani with a nice serve. Played over, and there's a good spike from the middle of the front row. Very well done by Brooklyn Kalis, and that gives the point. All right, I guess they're going to award that point on an illegal hit to General Johnnie Wilson. So that makes it 12-9. And serving is going to be Nia Hall. Hall with an excellent serve that's sent back. And that point will go to Southview. Boy, that is well done. I believe that was Azario from the back row playing that. Makes it 12-10. Good line drive serve. That's an ace. And it's Bucci with the serve. It's now 12-11. Southview serving down a point. Chance to tie here off the serve of Bucci. Adiana's serve. Sent back over. Well played. And it will be hit out of bounds. Point for General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 13-11. So Southview's cut the lead, but it's down to 2. And Natalie Patterson serving for the 7th graders from General Johnnie Wilson Middle School. Sends it over. Played by the right side of the net from Southview. Sending that over. It was Sasha Fleming. Fleming, it went off of her hands. And out of bounds, it's 14-11 General Johnnie Wilson. Hit out of bounds from the General Johnnie Wilson side. That will be a point for Southview. Makes it 14-12. General Johnnie Wilson lead is 2. And serving is Zaylin Wilhelm. Wilhelm with a nice serve that's played back. From the back row, Azario sends it ahead. And that point off the miss hit off of Kalis will go to General Johnnie Wilson. And they lead by 3, 15-12 here in game 1. You play 2 games out of 3. Each game goes to 25. Sending it over is Valerie Ramos. Played back and then sent over, but out of bounds. Point will go to Southview. It's 15-13, General Johnnie Wilson. Serving is Janiyah Johnson. Janiyah gets it over. Played from the back row. Nia Hall. It'll get sent over on the third hit, but it went off the rafters. And Natalie Patterson couldn't get it over, so it's point for Southview. It's 15-14, General Johnnie Wilson. From the back row, it's passed ahead, and on the third hit by Nia Hall, they sent it back over, but played beautifully by Southview, getting it over the net. Now we're tied at 15. So it's the first tie since it was 5-5. We are tied at 15. And serving is going to be Janiyah Johnson. Janiyah sends it over. Natalie Patterson on the third hit. It is sent over. Nice job. And hitting it out of bounds was Valerie Ramos. Point for Southview, and they take their first lead in quite a while. It's 16-15. In fact, their last lead was 5-4. And we're going to get a timeout here from Coach Ham and General Johnnie Wilson. Each team has taken 1 timeout. You get 2 per game. Southview leads 16-15. Both teams in their huddles. And Janiyah Johnson set to serve for Southview, her team up 16-15. Substitution for General Johnnie Wilson, Kylie Penna will come in. Janiyah Johnson with a good deep serve in front of Penna, and the point for Southview at 17-15. So that is 5 consecutive points for Southview after they trailed 15-12. Johnson sends it over, and I get an illegal rotation movement before that serve. We'll give the point to Southview. It's 18-15. From the back row, it's sent over. Played back to the General Johnnie Wilson side, and unable to hit it over was Jalen Rodriguez. It's 19-15 Southview. Janiah Johnson sends it over. Rodriguez on the third hit is sent over by Seegers. Seegers again plays it. Nice job by her. Again, Seegers will send it back over to the Southview side. And the play at the net, and this one will go to Southview. And it's 20-15. Southview with 8 consecutive points has taken a 20-15 lead, and they're 5 points away from winning game 1. Nia Hall plays it to Natalie Patterson, who hits it out of bounds. Point for Southview. They lead 21-15. Little miscommunication on the General Johnnie Wilson team leads to a point for Southview. They lead 22-15, and another timeout for Coach Peggy Ham. That's 10 straight points, longest run of this game for Southview. They lead 22-15, and it gives us time to remind you about Club TV 20 at Lorain High School. If you'd like to join Club TV 20 and be part of Lorain City Schools Television, club members produce content for WLCS TV 20 on Spectrum Cable and for Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can contact Mr. Bach or Mr. Trout at Lorain High School to be part of that. You can check them out on Facebook or YouTube. Search Lorain Schools TV 20 or follow them on Twitter at LCS_TV 20. Back to serve is Janiah Johnson. Her team 3 points away from taking a 1-0 lead, and Southview with an 8-4 record, playing 10-1 General Johnnie Wilson. There's a miss hit, and it's 2 points away from the game. 23-15. 11 consecutive points off the serve of Janiah Johnson. Janiah, nice line drive serve. It's an ace match point or game point. 24-15, 12 straight points for Southview after they were down 15-12. Johnson again, it's good, and there's the game. Boy, how about Janiah Johnson serving 13 straight points to give her team game 1, 25-15. We'll take a break. We'll come back with game 2. You're watching 7th grade girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Hi, my name is Rich Morick, and I'm the Director of Career and Technical Education for Lorain City Schools. I have worked with middle schoolers and high school students for 20 years. Over the past 2 decades, I've helped students, many of them first generation, figure out what they want to do with their lives. Picking a career isn't easy, but career tech education is designed to help them figure it out. As a firm believer in education, I have to say that gaining college credit, maybe even a college degree, while testing out areas of interest is an opportunity that no one should pass up. What I love about my job is that I get to see students go from not knowing what they want to do to having a clearer direction. I get to see the end result, which is a student who knows what they want and how to get there. We are helping them change their lives, and that's why I'm the Director of Career Tech Education at Lorain High.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Southview with a 1-0 lead as they took game 1, 25-15. We're set for game 2 of our 7th grade volleyball match between General Johnnie Wilson, who's on the left, Southview, who will serve on the right, as each team wears identical blue uniforms. And their first point of game 2 goes to Southview. They lead at 1-0 off the serve of Ariana Bucci. So Bucci sends it over. Played from the back row and unable to race back there. Limani Anderson tried to get it, and then Rosabella Azario with good effort to get there, but General Johnnie Wilson gets the point. We're tied at 1, and serving for General Johnnie Wilson is 7th grader Nia Hall. Hall with a jump serve. Well done. That's an ace in front of Azario. It's 2-1 General Johnnie Wilson. So Southview looking to win in 2 games. General Johnnie Wilson needs to win this game to send us to a 3rd and deciding game. Hall, nice jump serve, another ace. It was in front of Bucci, 3-1. With that jump serve, very effective. Hall again. That one's well played, but sent back over. Hall from the back row. It just gets dinked over, and the point for General Johnnie Wilson, 4-1. And from our angle here, unable to see who that was, but it was someone from the 7th grader General Johnnie Wilson putting that over. They lead 4-1. Hall, nice line drive serve, sent back over. On the right side of the front row, unable to put that over the net was Zaylin Wilhelm. It's 5-1, so a nice start to game 2 for General Johnnie Wilson. Line drive serve. That is played, and the point, well done, Kylie Penna. Evidently, there was a violation there. They're going to give the point to Southview, so it's 5-2 General Johnnie Wilson. And for Southview, going back to serve will be Sasha Fleming. Fleming with the serve. It's played and then sent back over by Callis from the back row. It gets passed ahead and sent over, and there's a point for General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 6-2 here in game 2. Serving is Natalie Patterson. Sends it over, played from the back row, sent back over and out of bounds. Point to Southview, 6-3 General Johnnie Wilson in game 2. Janiah Johnson, who did such a good job at the end of game 1, serving 13 straight points for game 1, is back to serve. And this time it's off of Azario and out of bounds, so General Johnnie Wilson gets the serve back, and the point, they lead at 7-3. Serving now will be Kylie Penna. Good effort in getting that over. A nice, well done by Bucci, and they get the point. Boy, a great play by Bucci to get that over the net on the second hit for Southview. They get the point, trail 7-4, and going back to serve is a Brooklyn Callis. Callis, nice line drive serve. Penna hits. Callis plays it, and then it's sent back over to the General Johnnie Wilson side. And unable to get it over on the third hit that time was Nia Hall from Jalen Rodriguez. It's 7-5. So Southview getting a little closer, down by 2. And again, Callis to serve. Again to the back row. Hall gets it ahead to Seegers. And on the third hit, Rodriguez sends it back over to the Southview side. And the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 8-5. Rob Polinsky along Bob Schlembacher with 7th grade girls volleyball for you today on WLCS TV 20. Hope you're enjoying it. Rodriguez with the left-handed overhand serve out of bounds. Point to Southview. They trail 8-6 but have the serve back. Azario sends it over. Rodriguez, good hustle, and on the third hit they cannot get it over. Penna tried but couldn't get it over the net. It's 8-7. Southview has cut the lead to 1. And with this serve, they'll have an opportunity to tie game 2. They have a 1-0 lead, having won game 1, 25-15. And the serve into the net, point for General Johnnie Wilson. And they lead by 2, 9-7. And it's Samaria Diaz to serve. And there's an ace in front of Limani Anderson. Makes it 10-7. Diaz hits it out of bounds. Boy, a nice job there by Sasha Fleming. She saw that was going out of bounds, let it go, and her team, Southview, gets the point. They trail 10-8 but have the serve. So good job by Fleming to realize that. And serving is Limani Anderson. Sent back over. General Johnnie Wilson side on the third hit. Hitting it over is Nia Hall, and it's a point for General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 11-8. And we're going to get a timeout for the General Johnnie Wilson team up in game 2, 11-8, as they try to tie this match at a game apiece. They lost the first game 25-15. Want to remind you that Lorain City Schools Television, WLCS TV 20 on Spectrum Cable. You can like Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook, and you can win great prizes by doing so. Follow them on YouTube, Lorain Schools TV 20. Look for them on Twitter at LCS_TV 20, and check out Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your entertainment and informational needs. And you should look at the huddles there. I believe that's the huddle of Lindsay Wilson and her Southview 7th graders. As we're set to get back underway. Serving is Seegers. And it's into the net. And it makes it 11-9. Line drive serve, that is a point. It's 11-10, and serving is Abuchi, and she'll try to serve here to tie game 2. Hits that one deep, and it's off the hand of Seegers, and we are tied at 11. So Southview has come all the way back. Our first tie since 1-1. And now Southview would try to take just their second lead of the game. They led 1-0. That's the only time they've had a lead. And into the net on the missed serve. General Johnnie Wilson gets the point and the serve and the lead at 12-11. Going back to serve is Nia Hall. Hall, beautiful serve. That's going to be an ace in front of the diving Bucci, 13-11. The General Johnnie Wilson 7th graders with a 2-point lead. Sent out of bounds, it's 14-11. Hall, well done. 15-11, trying to play that was Janiyah Johnson. Unable to do so, it's 15-11. 4 straight points for General Johnnie Wilson. That serve into the net, and it gives Southview the point. They trail 15-12. Well, this is exactly the score of game 1 when Janiyah Johnson went back and served 13 straight points to give her team a 25-15 lead. Now serving is Sasha Fleming. Nia Hall sends it over, and putting it to point is that is Brooklyn Kalis. Makes it 15-13. Sasha Fleming to serve. From the back row, it gets sent out of bounds. Point for Southview. They draw to within 1 at 15-14. Sasha Fleming, an opportunity to tie this match for Southview sends it over. Played back to the General Johnnie Wilson side. And well done by Callis, who got it back over to the General Johnnie Wilson side. From the right side of the front row, Patterson to the back row. Nia Hall sends that one inbounds, and the point for General Johnnie Wilson. Probably the longest rally of the match. General Johnnie Wilson with a point. They lead 16-14. And it'll be Nia Hall or Natalie Patterson back to serve. Her team up by 2. Sends it to the back row of Southview, and that is in as it looked like General Johnnie Wilson thought it was going out of bounds. They let it fall. It falls inbounds, and Southview's cut the lead to 1. And going back to serve is Janiah Johnson. Johnson serves it. There's the set, and from the back row, Nia Hall sends it over. Seegers went to get it, but couldn't get it over the net, and we are tied at 16. Johnson serves it, and it is inbounds on the line. They thought it was out, but it's an ace as it's on the line. Southview leads 17-16. On the third hit, they've sent it back over. Played back to Southview. Sent over by Callis. Off the rafters. Very well done by General Johnnie Wilson off the rafters. Seegers sends it over. A miss hit by Southview. That was Limani Anderson. And we are tied at 17 here in game 2. And back to serve is Kylie Penna for General Johnnie Wilson. Line drive serve. And it's a point for Penna and General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 18-17. Penna again, that one is served out of bounds. Southview ties it at 18, and they get the serve back. And serving is Callis, Brooklyn Callis, 7th grader for Southview. Line drive serve off the top of the net. It's an ace. 19-18 Southview. Callis sends it over. It's an ace in front of a couple of defenders there. Diaz and Penna had it going between them. It's 20-18 Southview. Callis' serve off the top of the net falls on the Southview side. That's a point for General Johnnie Wilson. They cut the lead to 1 at 20-19, and serving is Jalen Rodriguez. Rodriguez serve is played out of bounds, so we're tied at 20. Second hit sent back over and out of bounds. General Johnnie Wilson with a point, leading 21-20. Serving is Rodriguez. 4 points away from evening this at a game apiece and sending us to a third and deciding game. Right side of the front row, Azario sends it over. Well done. And the point will go to Southview. We're tied at 21. Here in game 2. In game 1, Southview won 25-15, so if Southview wins here, they win the match 2-0. If General Johnnie Wilson wins, then we'll go to a third game. Southview with the point on the ace on the serve, leads 22-21. Azario serving, gets it over. That's a point in front of the sliding defense. Diaz got there but couldn't get it over the net. It's 23-21 Southview and a timeout for General Johnnie Wilson. They take their second and final timeout of this game as Southview has 2 points away from the match. Gives us a minute here to remind you once again that Club TV 20 at Lorain High School, if you want to take career tech education to video production, you can join TV 20 and be part of Lorain City Schools Television. Club members produce content for WLCS TV 20 on Spectrum Cable and for Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Serving is Azario, 2 points away from the match. And that serve is out of bounds, gives General Johnnie Wilson the serve and the point, and it's 23-22 Southview. Serving is Valerie Ramos. Coach Peggy Ham giving instructions to her team. She's the coach of General Johnnie Wilson. Again, they come in with a record of 10-1. Lindsey Wilson, the head coach of Southview 7th graders, they come in with a record of 8-4. This game being played at Southview Middle School. Ramos sends it deep. Sent back over, and on the third hit, that's going to go out of bounds. It's match point for Southview, up 24-22. And serving for the match will be Limani Anderson. Limani Anderson sends it over. Hit back over by Rodriguez, goes back to get it. Got to get it over here. Seegers does so. And on Rosario sends it back over to Seegers. The play at the net, and it's going to go to General Johnnie Wilson. They cut the lead to 1 at 24-23, and they hold off on match point. And now Seegers goes back to serve to try to keep them in the match. You got to win by 2, and it's 24-23 Southview, but General Johnnie Wilson serving. Seegers serve, gets it over. Azario sends it over, but out of bounds. We're tied at 24. Seegers to serve. It is out, and it's match point again for Southview as that serve was just out of bounds, 25-24. Southview with a 1-point lead, and serving is Bucci. Bucci line drive serve, and that's out of bounds, so we're tied at 25. Again, you got to win by 2. And serving is Nia Hall. Hall hits that one way out of bounds, missed serve. Southview again, match point, leading 26-25. Serving for the match is going to be Sasha Fleming. Patterson, and that's going to be it. Patterson couldn't quite get it ahead to a teammate. Southview wins 27-25. So in 2 games, it was Southview 25-15, 27-25. Southview improves to 9-4 overall. And General Johnnie Wilson 7th graders will fall to 10-2. As you see, both 7th grade middle schools get together to shake hands here after this very well-played match here for 7th grade girls volleyball. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage on WLCS TV 20. Alongside Bob Schellenbaker, this is Rob Polinsky saying congratulations to Southview as they defeat General Johnnie Wilson in 2 games, 25-15, 27-25. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.